All right. So, yeah, I was on the wrong page talking what I know. Anyways, it's your girl Ash, aka Goddess Goals, aka Earth, Air, Fire, Water, aka Ashley Bradbury, aka AKLB. Now let me stop. I'm doing too much now. All right. So, I was back and I was explaining on a whole nother page. Basically, what did the two songs mean? I was just talking about on the another message about yin and yang. I was getting yin and yang. I was smelling meat. I was talking about what is the opposite, black opposite of white, in which the channel song that I was just hearing was the girl is mine, the doggone girl is mine, with Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. Okay, so basically, I was like, wow, and that song, it resonates with the yin and yang thing because Paul McCartney, he's white, Michael Jackson, he's black, and they was talking about the doggone girl is mine. Okay, so let's break down this message and what I found out about this song, about this video, about this message, okay, which was what does this mean, or what were they actually fighting over? All right, so I wanted to know, why did they say the doggone girl is mine? And I just decided to break down the word dog and gone. Okay, so when we break down a word dog, what is a dog? A dog basically on Google is somebody that is loyal to a human being, right? Somebody that is protective over another human or whatever, that's their dog, right? um but also, what I realized is that a dog is the name of a male animal, and the name of a female dog is called a bitch. So it's two different things. A female dog is a bitch, and a male dog is just called a regular dog. Okay, so that is what I learned. But what I also learned is that, that can mean a person. A male could call another male a dog. Yo, you lucky dog, right? So when you hear another man calling a male, you lucky dog, it means that he's a male, right? You lucky dog. And what else they were talking about was the word dog is also meaning feet, right? The dog is mine, the feet are mine, right? So somebody might be claiming something that is theirs. The doggone girl is mine, the feet are mine, your feet are mine. Mona Lisa, I'm gonna sweep you off your feet. Okay. But basically what I was getting is that somebody could be trying to put a leash on another person. This might be a competition of, all right, who can put a leash on this woman, right? Who does this woman love the most, and who can be the first person to take all these different things about this woman and make her mine, right? The girl is mine. I want to control this woman, so this woman is mine, right? Um, so yeah, all right. And when I had looked up the word gone, because it was something telling me to look up the word gone, but everything is in the reverse. So not seeing it as the way it naturally looks, but in the way of a reverse. Simply because I had pulled up the Vice Lord thing in the last message where I said LV instead of VL. So when you backwards put the word gone, it equals uh ENAS. And what is that? That's basically electro something neurological test that helps test the facial features of like people that have Bell palsy and things like that, and those types of things. So anyways, I ask God to bless those that are going through that those that have that. I ask God to cover you and protect you in those situations. Okay, amen. And so that's what I was getting, right? And I don't know if this is like some type of competition. Now I'm also seeing wolves, and when I had learned about wolves, which is, I forgot what type of wolves they were, but I think the silver wolves or something like that. But what people didn't know about wolves is that sometimes wolves are going out of extinct out there simply because people are hunting wolves, okay? People are hunting wolves because it's for their fur, it's for, different things. It's like they have hunting things like, oh, who can kill the most wolves? So that's also what I'm seeing after I was getting that message, the girl is mine. Who can get the most lives? Okay. And I'm also, when I'm getting yin and yang here, I don't know if this is about different organizations, different cliques, or this is about heaven and hell, okay, as well. Who can gain the most souls, okay, something like that. Here, this might be something, like I said, I know nothing. I'm just flowing and going, and whatever I do pick up on, I look up, and I come back and find out what it also led to. Okay, so it's something about that here, right? The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. Yeah. So I don't know if this is, oh my God, now I'm seeing Job, or I'm hearing Job, right? When basically the devil confronted God and told God, hey, what about your servant Job as well? So this is also what I'm getting, the competition, the doggone girl is mine. Maybe sometimes in life that is what we're facing, right? Where it is not just us, but it is, where God or the devil or whoever, picks a pure soul, that says that they are dedicated to you, and they test them and they see, are you going to choose hell, or are you going to choose heaven? Who are you going to choose? What are you going to choose? You know what I'm saying? As well, this is kind of like, I'm also saying like the draft pick, right? Who is the team going to pick? But at the same time, you have to think like, where is the opportunities at, not with the draft pick, where's the opportunities at where the person actually picks what school they want to go to? Okay, so this might have something to deal with high school, this might have something to deal with college, or this is just something, right? Okay, yes, I apply for these places, but which place am I going to pick as well? Okay, so I'm getting the Job thing again. So it's like, okay, the doggone girl is mine. Okay, who's gonna sweep her off her feet, right? Like I said, I was getting that, but who's gonna sweep her off her feet? Is the devil gonna sweep her off her feet, or she's gonna get swept off her feet by God? You know what I'm saying? And maybe this is, or maybe it's two evils, right? I have no idea right now, because in one message about a week ago, I was picking up on two different energies, and both energies was actually bad, right? But one was lesser evil, right? I'm also getting the lesser evil. Okay, so who is the lesser evil? All right. So it was two bad energies, and both both energies was bad. Okay, and I'm like, well, I don't see the main person here inside of the energy. All right. And then I'm seeing once again the peace sign, right? The yin and yang sign, where half white, half black, okay, right and left. But also in the yin and yang sign, people always forget that it is two circles in the middle, and one circle is black and one circle is white on the opposite side, and it represents that the lesser of evil, right? Even though I have more black, and that even though that I'm evil, I still have a spot of good. And even though I have all white and I'm all good, I have a spot of darkness, right? Or evil here. Okay? So yeah, that's what I'm getting. Now, that's just what I'm picking up. So this could be a competition. Maybe, like I was saying, these messages in these songs are like, maybe things that keep on rewinding, right? I kept on talking about rewind back in time. These are things that has played out, or is playing out, or they already know that it is going to play out, right? Play. Hello, play. Like this person just said, play. Okay, these are things that are going to play out, or have played out, right? And it just rewinds and plays again, and then rewinds and plays again. So yeah, the doggone girl is mine. White, black, good, evil, up, down, left, right, opposite, right? I'm getting length, width, whatever it is, the opposite of it here. Okay, so what if basically this song was actually talking about and actually meaning is the same thing that God was asked about Job, right? And both of them is saying something. All right, now let's go to the same girl, right? With R. Kelly and Usher, what I was talking about, I was hearing the same girl, the same girl. I did not get to what do they name mean? What was the meaning of their name? I haven't gotten to that yet. But what I did get into when I was watching the video of the same girl, okay, I asked what is the difference, what was the difference, okay, how did Usher describe the girl compared to how did R. Kelly describe the girl, what are the differences between the same girl? And the differences was basically R. Kelly said this is my future wife, okay, so R. Kelly knew like this is my future wife. And then Usher was saying, well, this is the apple of my eye, okay, so it's two different things, right? Even though Usher did not say that the woman was his wife, but it was the apple of his eye. So we know what a wife is, right? Even though we can get into more into what a wife is or what the definition of a wife is, or right, the Proverb 31 woman, right? Whatever the case may be. But let's get into what I looked up, which was the apple of my eye, because that just poked out to me. All right, poked out, poked out to me. All right, so when you look up the apple of my eye, okay, it has a couple meanings. And what it means is that this person is above all other persons. So I like this person more than I like any other person. I love this person more than any other person, right? Even though I may have other options, this is the person that I choose above all my other options. This is the person that I see more than I see other people. Okay? So this is the person that is the apple of my eye. All right? So it's something about that being chosen more than any other, right? And I'm also like thinking about the Esther situation. Okay, thinking about Esther uh in the Bible, all because you know Esther had to go through this whole process. Esther was not just chosen to be the queen. It was actually other women that were inside of the competition to be the queen. Okay, so I'm getting like all these stories actually play out in real life, or these stories are things that we want and play out in real life, right? Um, as well. Oh boy. Ugh. Hold on 1 second. Alrighty. Whew. Okay. So, um, yeah, something about that, Esther, right? So back to the apple of my eye, the one that you choose out of everybody, right? And that could also be a question as well. Um, and that might be a situation where the situation with Job, right? What if Job, the situation with Job was, what if like God and the devil was asking Job, who do you love more? Or who will Job love more? Right? Me or you? Okay. This sounds crazy, but it's a possibility, right? Who does Job love more? Me or him, right? Um so yeah, okay. Now dealing with the situation with the same girl and the apple of my eye, the pupil, okay. So what I talked about with the pupil is something that people call that in ancient times the apple of their eye, simply because it was they valued it more than a regular body part, simply because that was what they needed to see. It was something that was very vital to them, okay, in the ancient times. All right. Um, we're gonna take you to church today, okay? No, this is so funny. We're gonna take you to church today. All right. No, we just in school, right? We're learning, flowing and going, right? All right. So, the other thing that the apple of my eye means is precious sight. Okay. Since sight is one of our most essential senses, right? The pupil was considered incredibly delicate and vital to protect. So basically, this was something to protect. Your pupils are something to protect. That is very important. It says over time, the phrase shifted from meaning a literal body part to a metaphor for anyone you want to protect, treasure just as much as your own eyesight. So, like when you think about your eyesight, how your eyesight is so precious, right? It's like this is a person that I love so much that I want to protect with my eyesight, right? I want to protect them or I want to protect them. These are people that I want to protect, okay? And the last thing is called literacy history. What does apple of my eye mean? All right, in Old English, written by King Alfred the Great in the 19th century, it gained the opportunity later when it was used in Shakespeare, A Midnight Summer Night's Dream. Okay, so something about Shakespeare, right? Poetry. Okay, even though poetry just talks about it as well, right? Uh, so yeah, yeah. Um, so that's what I was getting, the same girl. But like I was saying, I wasn't getting the same girl. I was hearing the same girl, the same girl, the woman that is still sane after being trying to be made insane. Okay, no, she's mine. All right. So once again, what I did was I define what is sane backwards. So I spell sane backwards, and what does that mean? In Arabic, it is actually a word that a name that is given, or the word means is a name that is given, okay, primarily to a female that translates to good company, friendliness, kindness, and one of a jovial demeanor. It signifies a person whose company brings peace and comfort and happiness to others, okay? So that is one thing that sane backwards meaning Enes, okay? Enes, Enas. Okay. Now the next thing is in foreign languages. What does it mean? See, in Greek, Enes means is a masculine word or name or meaning, which means an, a, or the number one. For example, it means a man. Okay, so it can mean a man. All right, and man, a man, one man. Okay, as well. All right. So, as we can see, depending on the religion, depending on the background, depending on whatever you think is saying that this is a female, right, name, and then some say, okay, no, this means a masculine. Okay, something about female and masculine, half and half. Okay, um, that type of thing. All right, the same girl is mine, or the doggone girl is mine. When you think about, like I said, the dog is not a woman. A woman dog is called a bitch. A dog is a man. The man is like, you know. Okay, so I don't know. The man is mine. All right. All right, so the last thing that I did look up was about um damn, right? Because I was like, why did they say doggone? Why didn't they just say dog damn, or dog, or goddamn? Or they, obviously they didn't want to forsake God, right? Now I looked up the word damn. Where did it come from? And basically, it is a Latin word that is really called demere, right? Which means to inflict loss upon, condemn, or declare guilty. Historically, it carried a heavy religious weight, meaning to sentence someone to eternal punishment in hell over centuries. It evolved into a common secular everyday exclamation. Okay, so basically what I'm getting, if this is not God and the devil, if this is two evils, and like I said, one less evil is trying to condemn someone to hell, or someone is just eager to condemn someone to hell. Okay, I can't wait to condemn you to hell, type thing. Like, or I can't wait to condemn you. I can't wait to be able to take this part of you and that part of you and that part of you as soon as you mess up here. Okay, that's also what I'm getting. All right, it was a big boom. So I don't know if I said something that was wrong or I said something that was right. All right. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, how do I figure out these things? We have no idea. Whatever just pops into your brain, into my brain, and the songs and the lyrics and whatever it is, right? We don't know. We just flow and go. We don't know anything. We're just learning day by day. All right. So, yeah. Um, and I had saw something called, I don't know, but um yeah, that's what we have right now. So the both of the songs, Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, they're basically trying to fight over who's going to have control over this girl, over this woman, who can put a leash on her, who can make her be what they want her to be. And maybe sometimes in life that is actually true. And then sometimes actually in life it is, are you going to allow somebody to change you? Amen. Right? Are you going to allow somebody to change you from who you once was? And in life, at times, that's what we go through, where we be around people or we get around people and we change ourselves. And sometimes the change is for the good, but the change is for the bad is simply when, you know, we don't love who we are becoming. We don't love who we see ourselves as. It doesn't make us happy. And the person that we are becoming, is it making me happy? Is it making me healthy? Is it making me feel better about myself? Or is it making me feel not me? Am I not me? So the doggone girl is mine. Who can change the girl? Who will be able to change the girl? Or who will the girl choose to be loyal to? And we can look at the devil as, maybe changing ourselves for something. And we can look at the situations God as in Job's situation where, I love me. And at the same time, when I think about God, I think about, hey, come as you are, right? And every day I ain't gonna wanna dress up. Every day I ain't gonna wanna feel how you expect me to feel. But I am here, okay? I am here. I am getting the word. I am believing. What is it more about? What is God more about? Is God more about the image, or is God more about who is loyal to him? Who came here for me? Not for what you see. Are you here for me? What are you here for? I don't know. You know, and I gotta sometimes correct myself when I see myself judging others as well, you know, because I'm not perfect. When I see myself doing this, doing that, you know, or thinking like, oh well, her boobs are out, she's not godly. Well, at the same time, how do you know? My boobs was out and I loved God. You know? Okay. No disrespect. No disrespect. And sometimes in those moments, you know, we have been the person that's like, okay, her boobs out, but she talking about she love God. Okay, so it can go both ways. It can go both ways. You know, life is so funny. It's so funny. And I feel like the way we are tested in life is the situations that happen every day. But what's really inside of our heart, right? What's really inside of our heart. If we wake up and be like, you know what, I can't judge nobody. I might judge, but you know, I can't even judge nobody. Then you good because you checking yourself. See, sometimes we gotta check ourselves, or sometimes it takes a minute to check ourselves. Sometimes we need a little time, like, look, you know what? I was wrong in that situation. Sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it takes a couple days. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks. Sometimes it takes a couple years to see, you know what? I was wrong about that situation. I was wrong about how I saw it. I was wrong about how I looked at that person. All right. So that is the same girl. But at the same time, the same girl is probably the girl that remains true to who she is. And she doesn't change for a man. I'm not saying you shouldn't change some of your qualities for a man, right? Of course. Sometimes we need to. I'm not saying we need to, but sometimes things need to be changed because we didn't see things in a certain way or things that we didn't learn. But at the same time, is God not going to love me because of something that I love about me or that makes me happy? And then sometimes people say, oh, well, you know, you're only thinking about yourself. And at the same time, but with me thinking about other people, am I going to be happy? I feel like we learn the difference between what makes us happy and what makes us not happy after doing things years of what makes us happy and doing things years of what doesn't make us happy. So you can experience it. You can experience, all right, well, this is how I felt when I had my boobs out. And this is how I felt when I don't have my boobs out. Okay, so hey, which one? It's just metaphorical. All right. This was me then, and this is me now. Which one do I feel better in being? Or how do I feel better at being? Okay? And maybe the competition is who can change the same girl. Who can change the same girl and make her fucking insane? All right? That can be something as well. And yeah, like I said, the two difference was this is the apple of my eye on that side, and this is my future wife. So on the other side, and Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney is just the girl is mine, and they're fighting over one person. They know that this is just one person on that side. They didn't really know that it was two different people. But Paul McCartney and what's his name, they knew exactly who the woman was. And it was a competition of who can change the woman. So, yeah, that's where we're at. The next one might be what does their name means, or what else did I figure out in this episode of whatever this is. Like I said, I know nothing. None of this is probably real, or it might not even make sense. And then again, it might does. I'll be busy back, baby. Peace. You don't want to end? End. Why? End.